Have you ever really stopped to think about this wild idea that you are, right now, becoming what you behold? That whatever you fix your attention on day in and day out is quietly, behind the scenes, shaping the very person you are? Well, in today's Explainers, we're going to break down that exact concept, that we are literally transformed by what we choose to focus on.
All right, let's dive right into the heart of this. This quote here, it's not just a nice saying, it's basically a formula for how we change. It draws a straight line between what we contemplate, what we focus on, and how we are actively and continuously being transformed to look just like it. And notice it says are being transformed. This is a process, not a one-and-done event.
So this really brings us to the million-dollar question for our whole discussion today. Can what you consistently give your attention to fundamentally change you? And we're not just talking about what you see with your eyes. We're talking about what you admire, what you value, what you give your mental real estate to, and how all that attention might literally be rewiring who you are.
Okay, so to get how this whole transformation thing works, we first have to rewind and look at our original design. You could call them our factory settings. The idea here is that humans are, by our very nature, wired for beauty. And not just, a preference for pretty things, but a deep internal compass that pulls us toward what is good and right.
Think of this as our default mode. We're built to recognize beauty when we see it, to desire it, and to just delight in it. And that goes for everything, from an incredible landscape to a beautiful act of kindness. It's just baked into how we're supposed to experience the world.
And this is where the idea gets really, really interesting. Our source makes it super clear that beauty is not just skin deep. It's something we find in big, abstract ideas. Justice, that's beautiful. Integrity, beautiful. And on the flip side, things like gossip or cruelty or injustice, they're fundamentally ugly. So we're talking about a moral lens here, not just an artistic one.
But you knew there was a but, right? Here's where the problem kicks in. Our internal lens, the very thing that's supposed to help us spot true beauty, has gotten all distorted. It's like it's been smudged. We started confusing what's truly beautiful with things that are just attractive on the surface, or worse, even bad for us.
And so what happens? We start making bad trades. We chase the distorted beauty of online clout instead of the true beauty of justice. We might find ourselves admiring the flashiness of selfishness more than the quiet strength of self-sacrifice. And way too often, we value superficial looks over real kindness. We've basically swapped the real thing for the cheap packaging.
Our source material gives a pretty striking modern example of this. Get this. A survey found a majority of single women preferred a man with a bad boy look. It's a perfect illustration of how our desires get twisted. We get drawn to an image, to the packaging, and we totally overlook the actual person inside, which, as a lot of us know, doesn't always lead to the best outcome.
So how does this actually happen? How do our values get so mixed up? It's definitely not an overnight thing. It's more of a gradual, three-step psychological process that's quietly working on us every single day. Let's break down exactly how that cycle works.
Okay, so this right here is the whole engine of transformation. And the crazy part is, it's mostly unconscious. Step 1, contemplate. You just focus your attention on something. Because you keep focusing on it, you move to step 2, adore. You start to enjoy it, to assign it value. And then comes the kicker, step 3, imitate. Without even meaning to, you start to absorb its qualities and become like it.
A perfect modern-day metaphor for this is your social media algorithm. Seriously, you pause on a single cat video for just a few seconds, and what happens? Your whole feed is suddenly full of cats. Your tiny bit of attention told the system, hey, this is valuable to me, give me more. And it just keeps feeding you more of it, reinforcing that loop.
So if our attention can be so easily hijacked, what's the fix? Well, the source is really clear on this. The solution is not to just stop looking at things or try to empty your mind. The path back is all about becoming intensely intentional about where we choose to aim our focus. The point here is that it's a direct cause and effect relationship. The input determines the output. If you constantly focus on things that make you afraid, you're going to become an anxious person. If you fill your feed with vanity and superficial influencers, you'll start to become like them. But, and this is the hopeful part, if you intentionally contemplate the ultimate ideal of goodness and love, you will start to look like that too. And this brings us to our final and maybe the most powerful metaphor in this whole thing. It's an idea that really helps us understand what our role is in this process of transformation. And turns out, we're not the main character. We're something else entirely. So here it is. It's a pretty humbling idea, but it's also incredibly freeing. We are not the sun. We don't generate our own light, our own goodness, our own beauty. Nope, we're the moon.
So what does the moon do? It has one job: reflect the light from the sun. That's it. It's only brilliant because of what it's facing. In the same way, the idea is that our lives only become truly radiant and beautiful when we turn our faces, our attention, toward the ultimate source of that light. Our job isn't to create it, just to reflect it.
This quote just nails the end goal of this whole process, doesn't it? The point of all this intentional focus isn't just about self-improvement. It's about becoming such a clear mirror of the highest ideal, of that ultimate beauty, that when other people look at you, they can actually see that ideal reflected in you.
And so we're going to leave you with this final thought. What you behold, you become. The person you are today is a direct result of what you have chosen to look at day after day. So the only question left is, what or who are you going to choose to behold tomorrow?